Right, I found a bit of a rhythm now to what I'm doing. So I'm actually starting in the middle, because this is kind of where everything comes through the middle. So I want to get all that in fairly early on, because then the front and the rear I can start doing one at a time. But I think I'm going to stick with doing the middle first. So power cables, brake lines, fuel lines, and work my way from the middle. So I'm going to put in this fuel tap. That goes there. So obviously from a driver's point of view, if you need to turn the fuel off, you can turn it off really quickly. Need to make sure I get the flow in the right direction. Right, getting the ends over the spiky bits at the end. It's really tricky. I've managed to get one on, but it's really hard. So yeah, and you end up pricking your finger on the steel braiding. So this is not the easiest job, and it's jobs like this that takes the time. Oh, that goes up to there. Getting it cross-threaded, man. I've just put these little things on. They're just rubber, so I'm trying not to damage everything that I do, so that just they're rubbish though. One end done. It's probably about 20 minutes it's taken, maybe longer. Oh man, so I've done two ends in 2 hours. My fingers are in bits. What a horrible job this is. There's just no tolerance. So when that goes on, there's zero tolerance around the edge. Once it starts fraying, it's an absolute nightmare. I haven't really got a technique yet. Normally this, you do the first one, you learn. I'm really struggling. I should wear gloves, but I just find I can't work very well with gloves. They're just too, even the thinnest are too thick. One done. So that's going to go up to the fuel filter here, which is going to sit up here somewhere like that. So that pipe will come up into there, then the exit, it will come out of there and into the carburetors, which sit over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use these, which are sort of like pop rivets, but they're threaded. So that's like an M6 goes through the middle. So you, bit like a pop rivet gun, drill a big enough hole to fit the whole thing through. I've done 2 pilot holes. It will go in there. You crunch it together. Hey presto. That's all connected, it's all tight. Everything I'm putting on the car I'm doing tight straight away, because inevitably you'll forget something. So put it on tight. If I take it off, it's no problem. Just putting the fuel pump in. It's really nicely done actually. There's some threads just been welded on the side of the tank. It's a 20 litre tank. That's the maximum amount of fuel you're allowed to use in a race, and you tend to use that in the big races, obviously. There we go. A bit neater if I do it that side, I think. Last bit of the fuel system from the bulkhead backwards is the breather pipe. So it on the end, I should explain what I was doing. So that is a one-way valve. So if the car tips over, the fuel can't come out, but air can go in, because obviously as the fuel decreases, you need to fill that gap with air. Just double checking I've got it the right way around. So we've got lights, which is great. We've got wheel rack. So we're getting there. But what I need to also do is get a bit more practical stuff in here for running repairs. Because when you're at a racetrack, we have 3 races per round, and they're often in quick succession. So you don't get much time to repair the cars between the races. And whilst it's a non-contact formula, because there's so many cars on the track at any one time, if there's an incident, lots of people get caught up in it. So running repairs are key, and you just want to make it as easy as you can. So I'm going to try and make this into a bit more of a mobile workshop at the same time. First job I'm going to do, it's got this nice beefy vise, and I'm going to bolt it to the wheel rack here. I can still get enough wheels in. I can bolt that in there, and then if we need to do any quick emergency repairs, we've got a vise to hold, you know, hold bits, and then we can get the hammers out and start hammering stuff, or, you know, delicately drilling things. I don't know, but that's the next job. So I do need space for plenty of spares. So I've got these really good boxes. I think they're called Euro boxes. They're really, really tough. So what I want to do is secure them there, so you can take them in and out, but then it slide around. So I've got some steel tube that I'm going to make a frame, and they'll just sit in the frame. I've also got to store this somewhere. This is the canopy, so if it's raining we put the canopy up. Doesn't get used every time, just if it's raining really. So I want to store that somewhere out of the way. I'm hoping I can fit it somewhere at the front above this racking, so it's out of the way but accessible. So that's my next project. I've laid out all the suspension for the front. I've got some of the team coming today. It's Saturday, so I'm hoping there'll probably be 3 or 4 of us, and I'm hoping we'll get make some headway today. In the meantime, what I'm looking at, what I'm focusing on is brake lines now. So again, just putting the ends on is the key. These are obviously critical, as everything is, but I've done this before, so I think I know what I'm doing. And the key thing is the ends, to make sure they're clean, tidy. Put that over there. You got this little copper thing that goes over the end, which I'll show you in a minute. Then that squeezes on there, and you tighten all that. Cut. Once the team arrived, it was all hands on deck, so I put down the brake lines and cracked on with the suspension along with the guys, so we could do as much as we could in one day. with the brake system, you've got this tank here. So you've got 3 separate chambers, one for the front brakes, one for the rear, one for the clutch, because it's a hydraulic clutch on this car. The problem with it is it's really obviously quite thick, and you've got to get a bolt all the way through, but I haven't got any bolts long enough, but I have got this bit of threaded bar here, so I'm just having to sort of make up a bracket. I've got a piece of aluminium, so that'll go through there, that'll go on there, and then I need to make a cut in here, do it twice, then I've got at least something that'll hold it. It's not exactly a perfect bolt, but it does the same job. But if I go and order them now, it's a really odd, really long one. Take 2 or 3 days to get here, and I haven't got the patience to wait. So as you might be able to see on the end there, it's not perfect, but if I wind this off, it should just clean it up enough to get the nut back on. Perfect. Okay, so that'll go onto the chassis. I've got another one that will go the other way, and that'll be our homemade bracket, which will do the job. Hold it nicely. Right, I think that'll be fine. I've got enough room to put the unions on. It's far enough away from the accelerator. So yeah, should be fine. I think we're about 60 hours in to this car now, including when all the guys came round on the last Saturday, which was really good because we got all the suspension on. I've been sort of toiling away with the sort of the fiddly jobs, I call them, so the wiring, the plumbing, etc. So I'll give you a bit of a sort of recap of where we're at, I suppose, or give myself a recap. So rear end wise, we're pretty well done on here. We're probably 95% of the way there in terms of chassis wise. We've got all the suspension in. Obviously the suspension will need a lot of setup, but we'll do that later on. I've got the battery in, which goes right at the back here. Unusual position for a battery to go, for any weight in a car, a race car, to go behind the rear axle, but I'll explain more about that when we get to the setup and why that battery is all the way back here. Got the fuel tank, which was already in when I got the car actually, but I've put all the plumbing in. Got the fuel pump on the side. We've got a breather pipe with the one-way valve on it, so it doesn't, if the car was to turn over, the fuel wouldn't come out. I've got all the back panels in now, so they unclip and clip back in. Shock absorbers are on, and that's about it for the rear. It's quite simple. So inside the car, the main activity area is all down this side. So fuel pipes run down here, brake lines to the rear, obviously electrics, as in any power. A big power cable comes through here to the cutoff. We've also got wire for the brakes and a wire for the fuel pump. So that's all running down here. You've got the cut-off switch as well for the fuel, should you need it. Got the brake fluid and clutch fluid reservoir up here. And our pedal box is all installed pretty much. Next job I've got to do actually is do the throttle cables to attach to the throttle. I've got some various wires hanging down here because they'll have to go to the dashboard, but I'm not there yet with the dashboard. The fundamental bit I'm waiting for there is the steering column with the power steering attached to it. I can't redo much until I've got that because that dictates where everything else goes. In the engine bay, this kind of looks the least finished, and it's probably true really. Obviously it's missing a big thing called an engine, but we're waiting on the bell housing, which is the bit in between the engine and the gearbox connects them together. You can't put it in until we've got that. I know that's arrived at Carl Baldley Motorsport, but I need to do a trip there and pick up a load more bits. But in the meantime, we've got the distributor here. That's it, bolted in place, ready. We've got the coolant tank is ready. We've got the fuel filter and pressure gauge here. Not gauge, but controls the pressure of the fuel. That's installed. All the front suspension's on. So it's infinitely adjustable, this suspension, which again I'll go into detail when we actually do the setup, but you can move everything up, down, sideways. There is infinite amount of adjustment in those. Same with the steering rack, goes up and down, and that is all critical, as I'll show you later. But yeah, front end suspension wise is done, brakes are on, fuel pipes are in, brake pipes are in. So that is kind of the least done part, but I'm going to get the throttle cables in next, so they're prepped, and just do as much prep as I can before I get the bell housing. That's it. I think that's a good place to finish for this week, and I'm going to crack on, get some more done, and hopefully see you next week. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that malarkey. See you next time.
We are ready to go for the 2024 National Championship for the National Hot Rods. Green flag drops. Rob McDonald and Billy Wood go toe-to-toe towards the first corner, and it is going to be Rob McDonald that leads, coming out the other side of it, but Billy Wood tries to brave it out on the outside line. He does it again down towards the West Bend. He's got Perry Cook on the inside. John Christie is there in fourth on the outside line.